That's the mark of a great fighter, by accepting that challenge straight away.
If Bakole and Parker had been made in 3 months together, Bakole probably would have started favourite. I'm going to sit on the fence.
Oh, no.
I'm calling the fight. Sitting on the fence.
Not on this show, mate. I'm going to go with Hamza Sheerz to nick a tight contest, and I think he may pick himself off the floor as well to do that.
It's a crucial night for Callum Smith. If anything, more important than for Buatsi. I think if Zhang gets huffy and puffy around about 6 or 7, Cabel could have another brilliant win.
Best fight in boxing, and we get it again tonight.
A very warm welcome along to the Fight Night preview. I'm Adam Smith. Here's the Omen, Spencer Oliver with me. And we're out here in sunny Riyadh ahead of talkSPORT's live commentary later tonight of the last crescendo, headlined, of course, by Artur Beterbiev against Dmitry Bivol in that fascinating rematch. And now, after the shenanigans of the last 48 hours, Joseph Parker taking on the very dangerous Martin Bakole. Let's kick off with that clash between Parker and Bakole. It's an intriguing one, isn't it? And what a dramatic day on Thursday, in and around the late night press conference. And the news came through that Dubois was ill and Bakole was in.
Gigantic news. Boys, good evening to you.
Daniel Dubois is currently ill and seeing a doctor and is being assessed to see whether he can go through with his IBF heavyweight title defense against Joe Parker. It's mad this week.
Martin Bakole, I've seen him tweet that that's a possibility. He would take that fight. What fight that would be for him?
Listen, I put it forward already. I was furiously texting up on the press conference then, a few calls. Look, we're ready to go. Trainer, manager, promoter, we're ready to go.
Yeah, but Joe Parker's not going to take it, is he?
Listen, if you're ever going to beat Martin Bakole, beat him on 2 days' notice.
We were pondering who Joe Parker might fight, and one name that came out that was a mad name, because we thought probably there was no possibility of it, was Martin Bakole, who is the most dangerous heavyweight probably on the planet outside of the champions, and he's coming over and he fights Parker. I can't believe today. Okay, let's bring him in again. About half an hour ago, you put out your man Martin Bakole. It's official, that right? It is Bakole?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Unbelievable. Fair play to Martin. 2 days notice. I was up on the press conference. We got a bit close, then I came up here. It was like a final play to make the best fight for the card. And I said, okay, maybe not ideal for the fighters. Everyone has to take a risk, but I knew His Excellency would see this as the best fight available. And it is the best fight available. And credit to everyone involved.
Well, we've been around this business for a long time. I mean, 2 pullouts in a week is crazy enough, but this one on the co-main event and the manner it happened and the way and the speed at which Bakole was in, phenomenal.
It really is. You know, we always get the drama on these big fight weeks, but we never expected that. We thought the Floyd Schofield news was probably where it was going to stop. That was the drama that had happened. And then out the blue, you know, as we turn up to the press conference, news still hasn't broke. We're expecting Daniel Dubois to turn up. We start hearing rumours circulating. Is he going to be here? Is he not going to be here? Has he fallen ill? And in the space of no time, he's out. And a new opponent's in before the press conference had finished. I mean, credit to Turki Al-Sheikh and Riyadh Season.
We had Ben Shalom up in the talkSPORT studio. He was trying to get Martin Bakole in. He made it happen within about half an hour. I think Turkey wanted the best possible replacement, and Bakole is, with all the power he brings into the ring. Is it a good move from Ben and from Martin?
Martin's the chairman of the Who Needs Him, Who Wants Him club. He's been knocking on that door. He's been waiting for that opportunity. He was going to get the opportunity to fight for the IBF World Title Final Eliminator out in America in May against a Jogba, and it's come sooner. And probably the way that he sees it is, listen, in build-up to fights, as you know, Adam, over the years, you know, fighters can get injured in training, in sparring, cuts can appear, and the fight may never materialise. So he's probably looking at this now and saying, you know what? Forget that I'm not in shape. Forget I'm only maybe 60% of where I should be. I fancy the fight, and it's an opportunity, and a huge opportunity, and he's taking it. So we've got to respect that with Martin Bakole, you know, because he is the danger man of the division. The million-dollar question is, what sort of shape's he going to turn up in?
I have huge respect too for Joseph Parker, having gone through 3-4 months preparing for the style of Daniel Dubois, and Andy Lee and Joe Parker had no hesitation in taking this big risk And that's what it is tonight against Bakole, because it's a change of tactics, it's a change of mindset. But the mindset of Parker's great. He wants to fight anybody.
Listen, he's had that mindset all week. You know, he saw this as a huge opportunity to box for this IBF world title. He hasn't been champion since 2015 when he won that WBO world title. Man, it seems like many, many years ago now. Against Andy Ruiz Jr. And he's been sort of working his way back, reinventing himself in many ways. That's the mark of a great fighter, by accepting that challenge straight away. He just wants to get in there, Adam. He just wants to do it. A happy fight is a dangerous one. He's been happy all week. He's fancied that job against Dubois, and he fancies this one now as well.
He's been happy for the last year and a half with those wins over Wilder and Zhang. He's a great guy, Joe Parker, wonderful on the scene. But now he's got to get it right on the night. He defends his WBO interim title tonight. It is complicated boxing politics. I think the most important thing, it's a cracking fight, and it's on. So, who wins? Because if Bakole and Parker had been made in 3 months together, Bakole probably would have started favourite. Now with Parker ripped and ready, and Bakole maybe 60, 70%, who knows? Parker probably does. What do you think?
How can you go against Joseph Parker in this one? I think that he's in the form of his life, in the shape of his life, and you have to go for Parker for the win.
Fascinating, isn't it? Let's move on to the rematch between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol, the undisputed light heavyweight crown. We saw it 4 months ago. It was a phenomenal, elite match between the two very best in the world. Beterbiev won. Some people thought Bivol, I did. I thought Bivol deserved it, but he's seeking revenge, and Beterbiev defending that unbeaten record, of course. Spencer caught up with Dmitry Bivol earlier in the week and discussed how he felt with that first loss in his career at the hands of Beterbiev back in October.
The loss, has that sort of kicked you on even more?
Yeah, of course. It shaked me, like wake up. It's still like we need work more harder. Don't left some energy after 12th round inside of you. You should leave all of it in the ring for these 12 rounds. And of course, it's kind of like shaking you and pushing you. Like, do you like it? No, I don't like. It's like the second voice in your head, like, do you like it? It's asking, but I don't like it.
It was terrifically tight when they first met, but Dmitry Bivol having his first defeat on the record, a bit of soul-searching, the fire reigniting in his belly. He really wants this. He's absolutely desperate for revenge because he believes he's the better man, Spencer.
Absolutely. Listen, he said that, he's not used to losing. He doesn't like losing. He's gone home. He's reinvented himself. You're going to see a better Dmitry Bivol than the one you saw before. I think for Bivol, though, the big problem we've got is that Artur Beterbiev, who was coming off 2 injuries going into that last one. He had knee surgery and he had an injury with his jaw as well. The fight eventually got done, but that would have affected his preparation. And he says he recognises that he's got to adjust with Dmitry Bivol as well. He recognises that Bivol's going to be a better fighter than one it was before, and he's made changes as well. So I think we get a different fight with a little sprinkle of spice on it. I think both guys come better, but for me, I stay with Beterbiev only because he was coming off those injuries.
Anyway, a lot of fun between the two of them, but it'll be very, very serious on fight night. So you think it's going to be slightly different this time? It is Dmitry Bivol's beautiful jab, his fast feet, his ring generalship against the ruggedness and the strength and power of Beterbiev, who's got a better IQ than many think. And Callum Smith was saying you don't realise until you're in the ring with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Beterbiev's that monster and he comes forward, but if you watch him, it's so educated around what he does. Yes, it's very intense, but he sets traps, picks the shots, and as we know with Dmitry Bivol, the boxing purist who controls that space so well, puts the shots together, is explosive at times, controls the pace of the fight as well. Beterbiev didn't allow him to do that last time. Now, Bivol said to me he's coming with different tactics, that he's going to actually meet fire with fire sometimes. He recognises that he will stand and trade a lot more because The difference between winning and losing in that fight for me with Artur Beterbiev was it was genius in what he'd done in the rounds that were close. In that last 30 seconds, he turned the screw, put the foot on the gas and just applied the pressure, and that was stealing the rounds. And that's where the controversy comes. What was you going for? What did you like?
And I didn't. I went for Bivol, who I thought boxed absolutely beautiful. Beterbiev was winning some of the last 30 seconds of rounds. That's not enough for me. I thought Bivol should have got it. He didn't. But I think Beterbiev might come on from that because Bivol didn't really hurt him. And I don't know, you think Beterbiev on points?
I think Beterbiev on points, and I'm intrigued with this one because you've gone Bivol last time. You thought he won the fight. Who makes the adjustments? Who do you think wins this one?
I think Dmitry Bivol's a cleverer fighter than Beterbiev, but I'm not sure he's got the power to deal with him for 12 rounds. I'm going to sit on the fence.
Oh, no.
I'm calling the fight.
No.
I can't. Sitting on the
not
fence.
on this show,
not
mate.
On this end. Possibly Beterbiev on points. Time to go through the rest of this brilliant card tonight, and it's a massive one for Hamza Sheerz as he looks to claim his first world title. Big step up, tackling Carlos Adames for the WBC World Middleweight title. Former three-weight world champion Duke McKenzie joins Simon Jordan and our very own Oman Spencer Oliver on Talk Boxing this week, and he predicted, Duke, a tough night for Hamza Sheerz.
What he's got in front of him in Adames is such a good fighter and he's such an intelligent fighter with it. You know, he's the kind of guy that, you know, I'd only fight him if it was mandated. You know, if I was like mandatory and I had no other way to go, I'd probably take one of the other champions. I don't think he could have picked a harder fight than this kid, I promise you, because Adames is that good. He struggled at welterweight, Adames, to make the weight. How he made the weight, I don't know. Then obviously Spencer just touched on the point. He boxed for the light middleweight championship and just fell short then. But since then, he's looked nothing short of brilliant. I've been watching some of the footage of him in training, and you know, he reminds me of a very young Marvin Hagler. The way that he carries himself, because he's a switch hitter, Simon. Right. He goes from left to right and right to left effortlessly. And when you're in world title fights, Adames, you know, he might give you 3 or 4 rounds. He might give Sheerz 3 or 4 rounds. And if Sheerz switches off at any point in that fight, he can turn it on its head just like that. Do you see what I mean? He fights good on the inside, he fights good on the outside. There's a lot of head movement from Adames as well. And I would be...
Who are you picking?
I'd be pleasantly surprised if Sheerz wins.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be pleasantly surprised if he wins. I just can't see him winning.
Carlos Adames has just gone under the radar a bit. Good fighter, world champion, switch hitter, can do it all, really. I like Hamza Sheerz, always have, coming through the small halls. I think he's brilliant inside and outside of the ring, and he's improving. But is this too big a leap, Spencer?
Well, this is it. Look, for me, Hamza Sheerz, I think he's a bookie's favourite, actually. But for me, he goes in as the underdog. You know, Carlos Adames, you're right in what you say, Adam. He's gone under the radar, switch hitter, quick hands, great boxing IQ, shot selection is brilliant, and whacks very hard as well. Sheerz has to deal with all of that. He steps up in class every time so far, Hamza Sheerz. But guys, this is a huge leap in class here. I'm going to go with Hamza Sheerz to nick a tight contest, and I think he may pick himself off the floor as well to do that. I'm leaning towards Sheerz, but this champion is very, very difficult to beat.
He was under fire against Amo Williams, wasn't he, in that second round, Hamza Sheerz, and he managed to cope with that. He looks brilliant against Tyler Denny, of course, at Wembley. He's bigger, he's got that huge jab. This could be the coming out party and night for the ambassador for Riyadh season, Hamza Sheerz. Let's stay with the Brits. Hamza Sheerz not the only one. We've got a lot of British interest in this fight. Josh Padley will come on to, but this one is an absolute barn burner, and it pretty much kicks off the night late this afternoon. So get in early, listen to the whole event, because Callum Smith wants to become a world champion all over again at light heavyweight, former super middleweight king of the world. But he is 34 now, Mundo. Can he cope with the improving Joshua Buatsi, undefeated in 19? This is the acid test for Josh.
Absolutely. Listen, they're in different stages of their careers. Joshua Buatsi has been a pro 9 years now. It's been a slow burner for him. You know, he's been developing, learning, taking the right fights at the right times. He's had those tough fights. You know, just more recently, he had a really tough fight with Willie Hutchinson. We saw the one with Dan Aziz as well. But they sort of prepare you. You know, it's like the apprenticeship, and they develop you for the fights that you're going to go into now. And this is a huge fight for him, Buatsi, because Callum Smith, You know, a lot of people say, is he gone now? Is the best day he's gone? Look, Artur Beterbiev, don't read too much into that because we know what a monster he is, and Callum Smith was jumping up in weight. It's a fascinating fight, Adam, because for me, this is all about what Callum Smith's got left at this stage of his career.
He's got to be on the ball, Buatsi, and focusing every minute of every round, and that sometimes he hasn't done.
But that's the problem. That if he does, you know, if he has a tendency to switch off through those rounds, and if he does switch off, we know how good Callum Smith is inside. A 6'3" fighter, but works like Hamza Sheerz in many ways, so well on the inside. And that check left hook that he's got, that's the one that Buatsi's got to watch out for. Adam, I lean towards Joshua Buatsi. Just think the momentum's with him right now. They're at different stages of their career, but never write Callum Smith off because that check left hook that he has turns the fight around.
I'm going to fire back on you with Callum Smith here because Callum has fought at a much higher level. Everyone says he was looking terrific, amazing in training. He knows this is the last hurrah. Will the Beterbiev and Canelo losses take something out of him, or will that have refueled the intensity that he wants to become a world champion? It's a crucial night for Callum Smith, if anything, more important than for Buatsi.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's the end of the road for Callum Smith if he loses this contest. And this is where I'm sitting with this one, guys. Real 50-50. You've got to lean maybe slightly towards Buatsi, but you can't write Mundo off.
That really kicks off the bill. What an opener. I mean, he could sell out anywhere, couldn't it? Phenomenal, really, what His Excellency has done. The heavyweights as well, that's fairly early on too, and that could be a show stealer. Zhang, the big man from China. Spencer's loved being around him this week. And Agit Cabel, who I think, a little bit like under the radar with Carlos Adames, is one of the most underrated heavyweights in the world. He's in real form. He's undefeated. He's small, but he's got cracking ring movement. He's really good. The WBC interim heavyweight title, of course, Alexander Usyk holds the main belt. He'll be here at ringside, by the way, with AJ. You were in the gym with Cabel this week. I think he's a great... I love Zhang, big bang. He's about 41 and plus now. Still the biggest puncher probably around. But what about Cabel? I mean, he's... Tell everybody about it.
He's a great fighter that's gone under the radar and probably one of the most dangerous heavyweights out there right now. But Adam,
Big Bang, Zhang.
The guy has been class out here. For a guy that doesn't even speak English or very little, he stole the show. He's come out there, he had his ring walk music on the opening in the opening workouts. He was just dancing, he was entertaining the crowd. He's been brilliant. I've seen some of the social media clips. And Adam, he's been class to be around. He really has. Fascinating fight, brilliant fight. I lean towards Zhang in this one. I think that Zhang is underestimated by his speed of hand. Yes, he's got slow feet, but his boxing IQ's great. He's got great check right hooks. He boxes out that southpaw style, very heavy-handed. And what it is Cabel's got to be careful. He's not too greedy. He doesn't go in there and think, right, I'm going to work the body of Zhang, because Zhang will work it out and he sets traps. And that's where I'm leaning towards. I think Cabel starts the favourite in this, but I'm going for Zhang.
Not sure. I think if Zhang gets huffy and
go.
puffy
Here
around
we
about
go.
6 or 7, Cabel could have another brilliant win. What a fight. Let's talk about Sheerz Stevenson. One of the pound-for-pound greats. Love watching his fluidity, his rhythm. Multi-weight world champion, of course, and only 27. Superstar of the future. Was meant to be in with Floyd Schofield, the undefeated American, but another one that's pulled out, like Dubois, through illness in this crazy week. So tonight... Yes, tonight, Josh Padley is not wiring fuses. He's not an electrician back in Doncaster. He's taken the fight at 4 days' notice. He has that win over Mark Chamberlain. He's unbeaten. He steps up incredibly in levels, but what a dream chance for the 29-year-old.
Absolutely. Listen, a lesson for all you young fighters out there. No, forget that actually. Not all you young fighters, all you current fighters. Stay in shape because opportunity comes up now, and Josh Padley has taken that opportunity. He took it actually back in September, beating Turki Al-Sheikh's favourite fighter in Mark Chamberlain. He went in there as a huge underdog, ripped up the script and turned it around and won that fight. Now he finds himself out here on another Riyadh season card against the best, or one of the best, pound-for-pound fighters in the world with life-changing money on the line, Adam. And that's because the kid has kept himself in shape.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant story. Well, we caught up on talkSPORT with Sheerz Stevenson this week to get his thoughts on Padley coming in.
You know, this is the guy goes to work every day, 9 to 5, has a real job and a life beyond boxing, so he'll be hungry.
Yeah, that means he wants it. He wants it a lot more than anybody else. And for him to even take this opportunity on this short notice lets you know that he's focused, and he probably been getting ready for it, I would think. So, yeah, I'm going to beat him up, though. That's what I'm coming to do. I'm coming to beat him up and let him know that he's getting there with an elite-level fighter.
Well, unsurprising, really, Sheerz Stevenson believing he's leaps and bounds ahead of Josh Padley, and he is on paper, but both are undefeated, so Padley's going to give it a go, and we're going to see Stevenson's class, I would imagine.
Listen, I think what Padley's taking from this one, he said to me earlier in the week when I saw him actually in the hotel when he just arrived, which was just a couple of days ago, he come over and he said, listen, I was the underdog going in against Chamberlain. No one expected me to win that one. I tore that script up and I've taken a lot from that. Forget that Sheerz's, a pound-for-pound star. He doesn't punch hard. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to give it everything and I'm going to win this fight. He's going in here with confidence. The problem he's got is he has that smooth operator in Sheerz Stevenson who many people say he's not a big puncher, but here it is, Adam, with me with this one. When you're talking about levels and whatnot, he might not be a big puncher up at that elite level, but when you're moving down the ranks, the kid, his punches have got pop in them, and that fluidity that he's got around them, the way that he works the angles, the shoulder roll, shot selection, is going to be difficult to beat. It really is. But I love the Josh Padley story. I love the opportunity. That's what boxing's all about. But Sheerz Stevenson will start a huge favourite going into this one.
Well said, Spencer. Absolutely right. That's what boxing's all about. Love Sheerz Stevenson. I love Virgil Ortiz Jr. I think he's a wonderful fighter, a throwback to the Mexican days. The Texan is undefeated, and he's knocked everyone out bar one. In with Israel Madrimov, who we know, of course, went in with Terence Crawford, gave it a real good shot, and a very, very good fighter. Oscar De La Hoya believes it's fight of the night.
Oh, and I believe that as well. I think that this one is a real 50-50. We saw Madrimov coming off that defeat against Terence Crawford, but coming out with a lot of credit from that. When you see the way that he performed, and it was a real cat and mouse fight at times, a chess match at times where you see them waiting and taking the opportunity. This one's going to be different. We know about Luis Ortiz Jr., we know his style, and I think that, do you know what? That last fight he had against Barachak, where he had to ask himself questions, and it was a good development fight for him, will stand him in good stead with this one with Madrimov, because Madrimov is a pressure fighter. He throws punches in bunches. This one's a real war. I'm going with Ortiz Jr. I think that he's just got enough to win this one.
That was a big pause.
Yeah, because it's a big shout, because this is the hardest one on the card to call. When you look at it, you go, this is a real difficult fight to call.
I could listen to you all night. Time's ticking. What's the most exciting part of tonight for you?
I think getting that undisputed title fight on the line again, because I enjoyed it so much back in October out here in Saudi Arabia, and I'm just looking forward to the rematch. Adam, when it was over, when it was finished last time, we was like, another 12 rounds, please. I want to see it again. I'm a massive boxing fan, best fight in boxing, and we get it again tonight.
A rematch so quickly. 4 months later, Turki Al-Sheikh working his magic. Well done. We cannot wait for tonight. Thanks for watching the Fight Night preview. Don't forget, tonight, talkSPORT brings you the huge rematch between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. Remember, the undisputed light heavyweight world titles on the line, live from here in Riyadh. The card that's been described, we think, the best of all time. The action starts at talkSPORT 2, 5 p.m. talkSPORT 2. Don't forget that, it's early, before switching over to the main channel of talkSPORT at 8 o'clock for the rest of the action. You don't want to miss any of it. Adam Cattrall will host the coverage alongside the great, the legend, Barry McGuigan, with commentary coming from Gareth A. Davis, our own Spencer Oliver, and John Rawling. That's Artur Beterbiev against Dmitry Bivol this Saturday, live on the talkSPORT network, the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel, and your smart TV.